Hello, my name is Michael Emery. This video accompanies the Creative Space app. I believe that creativity is a mind-body process. It begins with an idea or concept generated within your mind that is then expressed through your body. It is within the nature of human beings to create, and this is your birthright. It seems to me that there are three components to creativity: the ability to recognize patterns, divergent thinking, and state management. Thousands of years ago, and across various cultures, the ancient philosophers recognized that world cycles and patterns are harmonious when viewed as mathematical relationships, says Michael Schneider, the author of A Beginner's Guide to Constructing the Universe. The ancient Greeks were particularly fascinated with the ways that geometric shapes mesh in recurring harmonious patterns, and in fact, the Greek word harmony signifies fitting together. Where we see things, nouns, and discrete objects, the ancient mathematical philosophers saw processes, verbs, and transforming patterns matching harmoniously. Mathematics is a philosophical language revealing the Greek archai, as in the word archetype. This is the foundation of universal design and construction. The archetypes are the same to everyone, everywhere, and in every era. In the book, A Beginner's Guide to Constructing the Universe, Michael Schneider writes, "Nature's harmonious principles are exhibited through its mathematical relationships. As we learn to read its archetypal language, we discover that the topic of the book of nature is a story, a mythic quest about the process of transformation. This mathematical myth of the creative process, this mythmatics, is not ancient or new age, but timeless, accessible in every age because it encodes eternal constants available to all. Although the myth's outer form adapts to different cultures, it may be rediscovered in any era by examining simple numbers, basic shapes, and ever-present nature. Thus, people of every historical period can understand the principles of nature's creating process by imaginatively examining the corresponding archetypal relationships inherent in mathematics, personified in mythology, and depicted in art and culture. This book is intended as a beginner's guide to the process of recovering that vision. In the view of philosophical mathematicians, numbers and their associated shapes represent stages in the process of becoming. While integrated in the whole, each has a life of its own and a unique role in the cosmic myth. The archetypes of number and shape were personified in the ancient cultures as various gods, goddesses, and world builders. The classic myths elaborated on particular aspects of the universal principles they represented. Their interrelationships and liaisons, which we consider a soap opera, transmitted timeless truths. Through state sanction, as in Egypt, Greece, India, Africa, China, Tibet, Native America, and elsewhere, all aspects of society were organized according to a canon consistent with nature's own structure. The proportions of temples were always designed, situated, and built in accord with the number and shape symbolism representing the temple's deity. Through the process known as gematria, which associates number values with letters of a carefully constructed alphabet, as in Greek, Hebrew, Arabic, Syriac, and Egyptian, the names, titles, and attributes of deities reveal, to those initiated in the code, their role in the cosmic constructive process. Divergent thinking is an associative process used to explore as many possibilities as conceivable. Convergent thinking is following a series of logical steps down to one answer. Divergent thinking is an associative process used to identify as many possibilities as conceivable. On the other hand, convergent thinking is following a series of logical steps down to one solution. An example of divergent thinking could be brainstorming, mind mapping, self-hypnosis, or meditation. You might even consider the similarities between convergent thought and divergent thought and brain hemisphere dominance, or what is referred to as right brain, left brain thinking processes. Although scientific studies are demonstrating that creativity has more to do with fully functional neural networks within the brain, the right brain hemisphere has been figuratively associated with emotional and creative aspects of thought processes, and the left side, the left hemisphere, has been associated with logical and rational thought processes. In these terms, divergent thought would be a right brain activity and convergent thought would be a left brain activity. But that said, creativity is wasted if it stays only in the mind. The creative individual is going to have to use both divergent thought and convergent thought to bring an idea into existence. The Creative Space program will help you to do this because it utilizes binaural beat frequencies that can help you to slow down your brainwave activity until it reaches the theta-delta range. The creative process is in part your ability to tap into the state that has been used by some of the greatest thinkers, artists, and inventors of all time. This is hypnagogia. This is that transitional state between wakefulness and sleep. This threshold consciousness of being half awake or half asleep lends itself to a wide variety of sensory experiences. And in fact, there is something that is referred to as the Tetris effect, and this involves participating in a repetitive activity prior to falling asleep. It could be something like playing the game Tetris, or going snowboarding or skiing, and having a repetitive motion or feeling or sensation or something that's visual as part of your experience. And when you close your eyes, you begin to replay that experience over and over again. As I've shared before, I can remember the first time that I went bungee jumping, and I would have that free fall sensation happening again and again and again later that evening when I was closing my eyes trying to fall asleep. Hypnagogia has been used by artists, scientists, and inventors such as Thomas Edison, Beethoven, Isaac Newton, and Salvador Dali. In fact, Albert Einstein's theory of relativity came to him during a daydream, and it's rumored that Paul McCartney's concept of the Sgt. Pepper Band came to him while he was falling asleep. I want to encourage you to pursue your creativity because I believe that within it lies your liberation. In a commencement address at Stanford University, CEO of Apple, Steve Jobs, said the following: "Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Trust your unconscious mind and trust the process. Be amazing."